right, so look, I got to ask y'all a question then. Are y'all a little nervous after the game 1 loss, or what is this, Celtics in 5 or what?
Celtics in 5.
Celtics in 5, easy.
Hell no. 5. We fear nothing over here in Boston, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Madison Square Garden is overrated. I'm going to tell you this. We're going to take over Game 2, Game 3 and 4, we're going to win that. We're coming back here in Game 5, and we're going to wipe them out. We're wiping out the Knicks.
And then who's next? Cavs? Pacers? Does it matter?
It doesn't matter. We'll face whoever's facing the Eastern Conference Championship.
He's clearly not fearing after the game 1 loss. So how many games are the Celtics winning this series then?
4. No. 5.
5.
Season 5.
We learned from our mistakes last game. It's about to be 4-0 from now on, bro.
I feel for them. I feel for them. I said Celtics in 5 even after that game 1 loss. You know what the toughest part is? Putting all that green paint and white paint on.
The whole thing.
And then you have to drive home, get home, look yourself in the mirror, and wipe it off after they blow another 20-point lead.
Right. That's going to be like the most historically worst bath. Getting that paint off after thinking that your team had a chance. Yet again. I hope he never paints his body again.
I feel for them.
He needs to do what the cloak guy did. Did you see the Boston Celtics cloak cape situation?
No.
That's the safest bet.
If they come back from down 0-2, paint your body at that point, because I don't know, but don't paint it the rest of this series. Hey, you saw him right there, Travis Thomas of Hold My Banner, was out at the Garden, hanging with the fans, getting the pulse. Let's bring him in now. T-Man, we heard the high spirits.
Yeah.
And then they lose 91-90, down 0-2, now going to the Garden. What was the vibes like last night?
Not good, George. As you saw before the game, great. After the game, not so much. Listen, man, even me, I'm guilty of it. I talked a lot of trash. There's no way I could show my face in New York. I'm telling you right now, all the trash I've been talking in this series, but I'm quiet as a mouse now. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10 of anger, I'm at a 19, as in Banner 19, because that's exactly what's at stake here with the way this team is playing. I want to start with Joe Mazzulla. Then I'll work my way to Jason Tatum. Let's start with Mazzulla. First of all, in the fourth quarter, I don't know, George, 7, 8 minutes left. You're not scoring. Where's Porzingis? Where's Tatum? They're sitting on the bench. I'm like, I get the shots aren't falling right now, but get them in the game. I don't know what's going on with Kristaps Porzingis and his health. I don't. But I know Boston is a great health city. Go get him to talk to somebody. Go get him seen. Go get him checked out. Get this fixed. Get some medicine and get back out there because they need him. Joe Mazzulla not only has these guys on the bench in clutch time, but then you have the nerve to leave at the end of this game with a timeout in your pocket that you should have taken with 20 seconds left. Then he says, well, 20 seconds before that, I didn't take a timeout and it led to a dunk. These things are not the same, bro. Why do we have to explain that to you? Take a timeout, draw up a play. Oh, I get it. You didn't do it because you can't draw up a play, which we learned in game 1. And we've seen throughout the regular season in the rare times when this team is in late games and it's close and it's situational and you have to manage timeouts and figure out how to draw plays and get guys open. He can't do it. Case, George, this guy's a master motivator. I will never take that away from him. But when it comes to drawing plays up, when it comes to managing a clock late and situational basketball late in games, he is not bad. He is atrocious. And then the press conference after the game was worse. He basically doesn't take accountability. He doubles down. He's stubborn. He's like, this is the way we do it. You're down 2-0. You lost both home games to a team you are clearly better than. The Knicks are scrappy. The Knicks don't settle for threes. They take it to the rim. The Knicks are tough. They play defense. They make adjustments. He is being exposed and outcoached. Now, to Jason Tatum. I'm not letting you off the hook either. Last season, Jaylen Brown carried this team to a title. He was clutch. He was a closer. He was a finisher. He was a tough guy. He was all of that. Jason Tatum was a facilitator. No problem. We got the ring. Well, this season, Jaylen Brown's not doing that. Cool. You're off the hook a bit for now because we've seen you do it. Jason Tatum, we have yet to see you do it. Yet again, you disappear. You shrink late in big games. I mean, honestly, between Mazzulla and Tatum, I'm at 19, as in banner 19, for frustration and anger, because that's exactly what it's going to cost this team. And think about this, guys. New owner coming in. If you choke this away and you lose this series, you don't think that new owner is going to look around and say, yeah, I'm making wholesale changes to this. And then this core group that we have that we all know should have more than one title, we will look back on and say, they only won one title? This core group will get broken up if they don't figure this series out. You can bet that.
That's I feel his pain, but at the same juncture, the biggest case that I saw out of all of this is the fact that the new ownership and everyone else is going to have a reason to blow this up.
They already do, and they're not doing them any rights. It's tough to see Drew Holiday potentially go out this way. The foul he had on Brunson was inexcusable. I understand that's Drew making Drew plays in that moment, but you can't send Jalen Brunson to the free throw line when you have this defense, and you got Kristaps Porzingis. Those are the two guys that are expendable in all this with what they're getting paid. Kristaps Porzingis battling an illness, looking winded, and it could be that same thing he was battling just 2 months ago, beginning of March, that kept him out for some extended time where he didn't know what it is. But Trav, you pointed out, game one, Jason Tatum, 0 for 7 in the fourth quarter. This game, 1 for 5. And you point out that Joe Mazzulla keeping a timeout. OG Anunoby made an egregious mistake, selling out on defense, trying to screen, pick up Jason Tatum at half court, and that left the wide open lane. The Knicks went with a completely different look, and everyone can see that with 9, 10 seconds left. That's when you called the timeout. I don't believe in keeping it in your pocket because you have the same setup. Now, that is, you have Mitchell Robinson out on the floor, so the substitutions are in your favor. But that's what comes down to this is a team and a head coach that is showing he can't make adjustments on the fly. And in playoff basketball, like Tibbs did, you have to do that, T.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, again, big picture. It almost feels like if they lose this series, last season's championship is diminished. You can't take it away, obviously. A champion's a champion. That banner still counts. But this core group is so good, and they were so dominant in that championship run that you can't go and flame out to the Knicks in this round the next season. It diminishes that championship run, and we're having a Joe Mazzulla conversation here. What does it do to him? I mean, does a new owner come in and say, not only am I going to make changes with this roster, you're obviously not going to move off of a Joe Mazzulla that quickly, but certainly you could be looking at him with the side eye. He could be on somewhat of a hot seat in terms of if this team flames out again, whatever the new look Celtics are at that point, and you're still seeing these coaching deficiencies in a Joe Mazzulla, that new owner could be like, hey, listen, I'm going to go make a splashy hire. Because remember, when Ime Udoka, when that situation happened, y'all, we all were shocked, and it all happened so fast. They didn't have time to go out and shop around and get some big-name coach. And I remember thinking then Brad Stevens may come back, but he didn't. They go with Mazzulla, and it looked like the right decision. But as time goes on, if they flame out to this Knicks team, depending on how they lose it, listen, if you go 7 here and you lose on a buzzer beater to Brunson, maybe you stomach that a little better. But if they get swept or they lose in 5, I'm telling you, not only the roster, all eyes are going to be on Joe Mazzulla as well.
I mean, it has to be with all of this. Trav, you bring that up. Scale of 1 to 10. What's the panic meter now? Down 0-2, going to Madison Square Garden.
I don't know if I have capacity for panic because I'm so ticked off. Honestly, I mean, some of me feels like this team's so much better than the Knicks that the panic level's not as high as you would think. Because would I be shocked if, or let me ask you guys this, would you be shocked if this team wins 2 games in MSG, we all take a breath, and we're like, okay. So I don't know if panic, I'm not there yet. Where I am is I'm really upset and I'm really ticked off at the continual, we're going to impose our will that is not working from Joe Mazzulla and squad. Also, Tatum, Brown, these leaders, Holiday, all these guys who've been here done that. Derek White. Someone needs to, as George would say, MF somebody, dog cuss someone, get out there, take it to the rack. sort of make your own adjustments. If Joe Mazzulla's not doing it, you're all veterans. This isn't some young team. Go out there, you do it. You take ownership, take over the game. Hey, we're going to the rack. Screw these threes. No one's doing that. So I'm not at a panic because of the level of talent on the team, and we've seen them obviously win in big spots, but I am ticked off to the highest degree.
I'll tell you right now, get me on my ISO cam. I'll tell you this right now. My panic levels are so high on this team, it's absurd. My panic levels on this are at, like, coming up, my panic levels for the Celtics, 7.5. Because you're down 0-2, now going to the Garden. You know how tough it's going to be if you drop one game and you have to come back with the pressure and anxiety of this crowd in TD Garden on you, down 3-1? And let's keep in mind, this Knicks team was built in the image to beat the Celtics in the postseason. They looked like dog water for 82 games. But you go out and you sign OG Anunoby, trade for him, then extend him, because that's a big physical defender that can match up with Jason Tatum. You give away 5 first-round picks for Mikal Bridges because that's a long wing defender that brings offense, like him being 0 for 3 quarters and then dropping 14 in the 4th. You go out and you add Karl-Anthony Towns for that spacing. This team can shoot, they can defend, they can get stops, and most of all, they have a closer and a finisher in Jalen Brunson. And on the Celtics side of this, Jason Tatum doesn't look right. His shot is broke. He's shooting 25% from the floor in this series after looking amazing against the Magic. This team can't execute in clutch time. Kristaps Porzingis is dealing with an illness that no one knows what's about, and he's the 3rd best player on this team. You're down 0-2 going into Madison Square Garden where the crowd will be rabid. 7.5, maybe an 8 with the panic meter. Because out of the history of all teams to go down 0-2 in a playoff series, little more than 7% have come back and win the whole thing. This is how close this team is on the margins. And what the Knicks have, composure, compete, toughness, and they don't get shook. Back-to-back 20-point leads blown. I'm at 8 now. As I talk to it more, I'm on an 8 on a scale of 1 to 10. Case, what about you?
I'm with you. I'm sitting at that 8, but maybe even a 9, because combining what the pair of you have just said, for one, when you get into a postseason and you can get out-coached on the other bench, that's a problem, because then that means that there's so much confidence sitting on the Knicks bench that, on top of the fact that they were able to make these comebacks and get into it to begin with, those kind of momentum swings, that kind of confidence, that carries you through a postseason. I also have a little bit of the stipulation and superstition that when you kind of have that perfect regular season vibes, a lot of things become exposed in the postseason. So thinking of the coaching angle, thinking of the fact of one coaching out-strategizing the other, going to Madison Square Garden, as you pointed out, and then 2 postseasons ago, if it's not Jason Tatum getting it done, this team has an ability to fall apart at the seams. And then you mentioned the health of Porzingis. So there's just too many question marks in terms of me confidently thinking, yeah, they can go to Madison Square Garden and pull off 2 wins versus a Knicks team that's riding high on vibes, confidence, and strategy. That's a lot of panic for me.
Their best player in the 4th quarter is Peyton Pritchard, and he played just under 6 minutes. Their best player was Peyton Pritchard, their leading scorer. He hit a 3 with 8:44 left. They didn't get another field goal on the floor until Tatum had that drive dunk. That was a mistake by the Knicks. I'm panicked, T. I'm not going to lie. I am panicked, my man.
I'm ticked off. I don't have time to be panicked. I think they're going to win Game 3. I still think the Celtics win this series, to be honest with you. But I'm seeing too many things that concern me moving down the line. Anyone see the Thunder last night? You think you could play these games in the NBA Finals that Joe Mazzulla's doing, coaching this team? You definitely can't.
And this is a team that wasn't put together and had this hype to make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I love you point that out, T. They were here, and they kept them together to repeat as champions, because this same iteration of the team won't be the same. He's Travis Thomas. You catch him on Hold My Banner. You could catch him on Boston as end of the chat as well. And you could catch him and Ante Campbell outside the Garden for all home games. Hopefully, the vibes are much higher, and the Celtics are coming back with this series knotted up 2-2. T, we'll see you, my man.
My man.